You can't help it. If you don't know there's a situation there, you can't avoid it. And that is what's happening. The CB radio has died. Nobody's talking. They are people, and I'm assuming this, because I watch them, and they got this mouthpiece, they got this headphone, and they are listening to the radio. Now, one driver came back to me one day, and I was really on the case of everybody and calling them names, not bad names or anything, just trying to get their attention. One driver came back and he said, "Would you shut up? I'm trying to listen to a podcast." I didn't say you couldn't listen to the podcast, because in the old days, we listened to the radio, we listened to tapes, 8-track. How many of you go back that long? Or cassettes? And that's what we listened to. And we listened to the radio. It was second nature. This was our ears. This was our eyes. This was everything. This is what kept us awake all night long, so we could run in these convoys that the government stopped us from running in. Why did we run convoys? Because we were running out across those interstates. Many, many trucks. I don't know, it varied with how busy the night was. And we'd have one truck out in front, and he would be talking to us. All of us would be talking back and forth. We'd talk about whatever good stuff, okay? And if somebody started getting a little profanity, somebody would call them on it and tell them, we just don't talk that way out here. But when he would get tired, let's say he's tired of the snow coming hitting him in the eyeballs, that kind of thing, he'll get on the radio and he'll say, "I'm backing out," and so number 2 takes his place. So number 2 that's following him takes off front. He's rested. He hasn't been being beat with all that snow that's hitting him in the eyes or the darkness of the night. And number 1 backs out of it, and he either goes back on the left side, or he slows down and the whole caravan passes him up. And he drops, somebody opens up a space and he drops into it, and we all keep moving. That's what we used to do. That's what kept us on the highways. That's what kept us rolling the miles we did. That's what kept toilet paper on the shelves of the store. Us truck drivers worked together. We knew we had things in our trucks that was necessary for somebody else, for the public. Did you miss toilet paper? Did you go in the store and see the empty shelves? Not just the grocery store. We're talking about anything, because everything comes on a truck. Truck driving, CB radios. We did lose a good friend. We used to, I got to tell you one. This was funny. This was really funny. We was sitting in a truck stop parked one night, or I should say I was. We was in Washington State. Arrowhead truck stop in Washington State. I can't remember which town it was in, but it held probably about 50 trucks. I was out, and there was 2 of them. You had line here and line here, and then the truck stop was over here, and then you had more lines behind of trucks. And I was sitting out on a front line there, and it was dark, and it was kind of funny because there was another driver that had made contact with a lady driver. And they were talking, and he talked to her about coming over to his truck. And she made the comment, she says, "But which truck are you in?" You can't just start describing them. "Well, I'm in the red Peterbilt," because you might have had 6 red Peterbilts in that truck stop. Okay? So he came up with the greatest plan you could have. He says, I'll turn my headlights on. I thought this was really funny. All at once, every one of us turned our headlights on. It was so funny because we were all listening to this conversation. And all at once, the whole truck stopped. Every headlight in that truck stop came on. And he came back and he says, guys, that's not going to help me out. We all just laughed our heads off. We thought that we was on the TV, and we always just laughing. And it was funny. And so we turned them all off, and I don't know if they found each other or not. But I'll have to tell you another one we had with CB radio. It was almost Christmas time. I was rolling to Oregon, and it was during the day. And what happened was, I don't know how it came about, but I was singing Christmas songs, listening to the truck radio, and, you know, we didn't have Sirius XM or any of those networks. We didn't have that kind of stuff. We didn't have headphones that you couldn't hear nothing else out of. We didn't have cell phones. We had the CB. Anyway, I started singing Christmas songs over the CB. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. And pretty soon, I'd say, Join, come on, let's get a chorus going here. Pretty soon, I'd be going down the road and I'd do a song, and then I'd key off so I could hear. And I'd hear other drivers singing, here comes Santa Claus. Everybody was kind of unison, you know, trying to. And I thought, okay, hold everything. We got to start together here. What was really interesting, a lady's voice came on. She says, can I start, y'all? I said, great, this is fantastic. We got this music leader out here. So she would go, 1, 2, 3, start. So we all together sang, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. And I know the others was probably doing what I did. I'd unkey. And you could hear all these voices coming across the CB radio, all singing a Christmas song together. We went on, I don't know how many, 20, 30 miles of doing this. And this lady would choose different Christmas songs. And we would all, okay, ready, 1, 2, 3, go. Up on the housetop, the reindeer flew or landed or whatever they did. Maybe if they had CB radios, maybe they were listening. I don't know. But we talked, we had fun. That's what the road used to be. But it's not that way anymore. Nobody talks. I'll have to tell you one more. One day I was out in Ames, Iowa, just outside of Des Moines. And I had I'd gone into a little truck stop. I can't remember what I got, fuel or something. Anyway, it was just a small truck stop. So I went and pulled into this little truck stop and fueled up, and I was just leaving. And across the good old CB came a voice. Big truck, do you mind if I run with you tonight? Sure. You know, sure. You'll have to follow me. You'll have to run the way I do. Sure, I'll do that. See, I would run with other trucks, but they ran the way I did, and if they didn't run the way I didn't run with them. Because I ran not over 5 miles per hour than the speed limit. If the speed limit was 60, I would run somewhere between 60 and 64. I've always done that, and I've never had a ticket, even in California. And he said, sure. So we took off. I kept looking for a big truck. All I could find was a station wagon pulling a single axle U-Haul trailer. Yeah, driver, by chance, are you in that station wagon? This is one of the old station wagons, you know, the big ones. But this was also many years ago. This was back in the late 80s. So all these minivan stuff, they'd never been vans. Okay, let's back in. Driver, by chance, are you in that station wagon pulling that U-Haul trailer? Yes. That's where he was. I says, sure, let's go. He agreed to drive along with me. Okay? For the next 7 hours, we talked. We changed channels. We got off of channel 19, and we went to another channel, and we talked, and we talked, and we talked. The man had just had a divorce. Everything he owned was in that station wagon, in that little single axle U-Haul trailer. And he was for Phoenix, Arizona. He had a sister down there to live with. He had left everything or lost everything or something. I don't know what happened. But he was really, really down in the dumps. I felt for him. And for the next 7 hours till we got over into Wyoming and the split between going down to Denver and it would put him down into head for Phoenix, I went the other way. So I'd go out across Idaho. And we split company, but along the way he says, can we stop for a cup of coffee? I says, sure. I just want to let you know I don't drink coffee. And he said, that's no issue. I'll buy you a cup of orange juice. I says, that's perfect. I made a friend that night. Hopefully this man is out there somewhere, can remember, gets this video and remembers that night that we traveled for 7 hours visiting, talking back and forth, and I hope I said something that made him feel better about himself, because he was really, really, really down. That's what the CB radio was for. That's what we used it for. We used it to help each other. It's not there anymore. Nobody uses CB radio anymore. We're living in a sad world. I'm going to make another video about the CB and what I think is the reason the CB is not being used anymore. I don't have any proof, but it's just one of those things. You look at the changing times. So stay with me on my next video as I talk about our changing times. That sounds like a good title. Yep. This one is Lost My Best Friend. Yep. Next one is Changing Times. I'm Steve Allen, and watch my other videos. I got a lot of them out there. And I would just love it if we can get more people back on the CB radio. Get them off these noise canceling. I don't understand it. I like to hear my engine. I like to hear if my brakes are squealing. I like to hear if the rocks are hitting underneath my truck. I like to hear if I don't hear. If I don't hear, especially in the winter, I've got a problem. I've got ice under those tires. And sometimes listening is the only thing you're going to find that feel that you know you've got ice and you're walking on ice, because you don't hear the road anymore. Ice is quiet, it sneaks up on you before it's too late, you're done. I'm Steve Allen. You have a great day. I'm going to, and see you later. Bye.